Welcome everybody to the latest episode of Down the Beat. You're live with your host, most John and
Lifika, aka Child Stacks, Chow Honey, Feek Dave, Feek Daddy, what it do, what it does.
And we have a very, very special guest zooming in all the way from the ATL. We've got our man Ngola. How are you today, man?
Peace and blessings, brothers. I'm good, thanks. How y'all doing?
Great,
Chilling,
dude.
man.
Great. How's your day been?
Great day, man. Great day. You know, adulting and being a musician used to be my biggest fear, but here I am doing it. So,
Hey, that's dope, bro.
I can only imagine the grind to get to, like, just as you grow older, you know, just grinding the music game. It must take a toll on you, eh?
at a certain time, it did,
Mm-hmm.
and then it becomes those things. I think, you know, like those perspective type of moments, and I'm able to quickly shift, you know. But yeah, definitely, bro. I think that the reason why so many dudes probably smoke so much is just like the frustration of life and waiting in queues and wanting to get somewhere, you know what I mean?
It's a young escape also, you know.
Yeah.
So you are originally from South Africa, recently moved to Atlanta, like I just mentioned. Can you just walk us through that transition of life?
Okay. I'm from Umlazi.
Yes, sir.
Islazini, Mzilab, Kosin, Umlazi, the kingdom. From everywhere, man. Umlazi got N, got D, you know, shout out to all of it. It sounds so trippy saying it from America. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm from Umlazi, you know. People will tell you that Soweto is the biggest hood, but Umlazi is actually the biggest hood because Soweto is 7 townships. It's multiple in one. It's a fat ass spot with a whole bunch of talented people. And my whole dream was to build a sound that represented my story, but also represented Umlazi in the way that I have experienced it, but also paying homage to the reality of what it is. And
Yes.
I've had the opportunity, I've had the opportunity to come this side and do some film shit. And now I'm linking with some music stuff. And basically, I'm tying in the narrative of Atlanta and Atlantis being the water concept, and me being Zulu and the child of Isangoma and spirit and us believing in the water, that I came from Umlazi, where I'm from, to Atlantis. Water. So in a nutshell, that's the concept of everything I'm doing right now.
That's crazy.
So you said
Atlantis.
yeah, really though.
For real.
So you said that you came on some film shit, but you used to act. I get that. I understand that correctly. You used to act in South Africa.
I still act, yeah.
You still act. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
But can you explain the TV show that you were on back in South Africa?
Shit, man. I've been on a few shows, just like supporting roles, though. The first joint I got, which was pretty dope, I did with Trevor Gombe, the comedian, called Soul Companions. Even how I got that gig was crazy, man. Like, it was MLA, biggest agency out there. I'm trying to call. I just got my degree. I moved to Joburg, big city, trying to get an appointment. they not taking nobody or whatever. So spot there's already a lot of famous actors. So I just take a taxi and I go there. I ring the bell, and then the gate just opens, but then the delivery guy goes through. So I just go in with the delivery guy, the scooter. And then when I get there, they're like, yo, we don't take walk-ins. And then the lady, Nina's like, no, that's a leading man. And that's how I got my shit going. And
You just walked right up to the door, knocked on it, and then that's how it all happened.
In that moment.
Yeah.
Well, then there's a whole lot of fucked up shit that happened. That's just a nice story to tell. But a lot of crazy shit led up to a nice moment like that. Did a short trip of Gumbi, did one on SABC Sober Companions, just some trippy shit because I felt like that was, a trippy ass role. Biggest show I think I was on was this 2NZ. 2-time Emmy nominated.
Damn.
For directing, I think directing, and also Tuson Petu as the lead actress in it. Yeah, and I played a role of her older brother in it. It's dope. But what got me to the States was a short film I did called Side with Zamom Konazi, Marcus, who's also from Durban, Umlazi. And she's an elder to me, and he gave me an opportunity, and then she submitted it to Sundance. She's a Cannes award-winning writer already, and yeah, we got to top 5 shorts in Cannes. In Sundance. That's why I came up to the States. But right before that, good old COVID or Bill Gates or whoever you decided to hit us with that lockdown, and then
Word.
So that's what I meant by film shit.
That's dope, man. And I can see that film as well as music, these are all, we've heard it in we've read it on your bio and your website, we've heard it in your music, but film as well as music, as well as modeling, these are all aspects of your business. And you recognize that you are the business within yourself, and stuff like these are like your products, and that it comes down with.
That's from like one of the songs.
Oh, I'm quoting it, bro. I'm actually quoting it, bro. But like it's real too, because you can hear it. Like I love it. It's a perfect explanation. Like it's your physical body, your spirit, and your emotional being, your mind, and these are the tools that you have to reproduce the different aspects that you have to offer. And I think that's an amazing way that you share the variety of skills you have to offer to the world, bro.
That's it. I was gonna say you're killing you're describing this so well. And then he comes through with,
I'm the master copy paste.
Seeing
I was also like, yo, this guy.
he was like, damn, this sounds super fucking nice. Like, who wrote this?
My co-host knew I don't speak like that.
I've edited your stuff before. So your latest track that has just come out was Zulus in Atlanta, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bango.
So you are what that title says, a Zulu in Atlanta. Can you describe that to us, please?
The song of being Zulu in Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Both.
Okay. The song is about, I'm Zulu, I'm in Atlanta. Zulu can be taken in 2 ways. It is who I am, my culture, my heritage, the customs and different things I've been taught. But I also like to flip it as in an acronym, Zion United Living Unplugged. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
That's dope.
And I'm trying to build a Zulu family out here as well, I know there was a Zulu nation, there was a whole movement, yeah. I would love to see the interaction with, someone born and bred in that culture and see how we can merge and build and you know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's mad important, bro, to like find people with the same culture as you within your area. even when I
So
move this.
yeah, so my experience of being a Zulu in Atlanta, I'm starting to do what I did in that last joint, not answering the question. My experience of being a Zulu is wanting to build that sense of community. And me being a Zulu in Atlanta is me doing that exactly. And so when I made the song, it's almost not like a call to action, but it's me saying that, you know what I mean? Anyone who wants to know about the Zulus, who wants to be about the Zulus, who wants to whatever. There's some Zulus in Atlanta. It's like, yeah, man, we out here, you know.
So your culture and your heritage are something that are relayed quite a lot in your music. You stay true to your Zulu heritage. You have songs like Blind off of your album Rockets Power Love. It's all in Zulu. Like, but you know, it's crazy because I'm from very rural Nova Scotia and I'm listening to this. I don't understand a fucking word of it, but you know, I'm like, I love it. Like, you know what I mean? I want to know what you're saying. And obviously I don't have the time nor probably brain capacity to learn a whole other language. But how do you, sorry?
I should probably do a translation.
Yeah.
To an extent, bro, because we spoke about this personally before, like you and I, but like I just respect how you still introduce your audience Zulu language. You know, you're teaching them to a certain extent, and we were comparing that last time to multi-language, other bilingual artists such as like French and Spanish rappers. But like it's nice to hear something new. You know what I'm saying? Like Zulu rapping. So I love it. It educates us and it still shows us that you're still never forgetting where you came from, you know, but still looking forward at the same time.
So in that sense, like the vibe is very much tied to your culture. How do you as an artist market that?
As I said, there's the two sides to it, you know what I mean? I was even speaking about this to the dude I work with on graphics. You know, I was like, I want the graphics to be two things, like, you know, and he kept giving me two directions, like choose one. I was like, nah, merge them. The one is the outside, the one is the inside. You know what I mean? For me, everything has always been like that because I came from a background of like kind of sci-fi hip hop, you know, so-called underground boom, but you know what I mean? So as I wanted to make this a real profession, make money, I always had to balance the two. So Zulu, yes, it's my culture. I'm giving something you don't know. But yo, it's Zion United, living unplugged, this build. You know what I mean? This is a crazy ass world out here, you know? And what I'm speaking about exists, you know what I mean? At some point, I'm gonna have enough money. I'm gonna take people, I'm gonna go to wherever, Decatur. I'm on the west side now, so I'm gonna go down to, you know, Cascade side, all my homies. When I have enough money, we're gonna get in a jet and go to Umlazi. That's gonna be a real thing from Atlanta to Umlazi. And I'm gonna show people and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take homies from Umlazi and bring them to here. And it's just like, cause it's not that big and it's not that crazy. It just takes the resources, you know what I mean? So that's what we're working on.
100%. You were even saying how like you grew up listening to like sort of sci-fi-ish sort of hip hop quotation underground, you know, but you categorize your music as Zulu Sci-fi. Would you say like what does that mean? Would it go in hand with the acronym that you created, or what would you say the Zulu Sci-fi?
That's why I say, yeah, okay, no, whenever, but yeah, in this instance, yes and no, actually. In this instance, right now, I can say yes, it is. It is a Zion United Living Unplugged experience that I'm going to give you in a sci-fi perspective, because that's how I just like, I like, you know what I mean? But when I say Zulu Sci-fi is in the strain of hip hop that I say I create, what I mean is that I found a way that I found interesting to explore my culture and my language in a sci-fi manner. And it already exists. It's just that you never hear people speaking about it. You hear people speaking about, you know, just getting money, just the normal surface level things. You know what I mean? And I guess I'm just speaking a bit beyond that.
No, you can hear it, bro. Like, because you got Rocket Power Love with tracks like Umlazi the Kingdom, you know what I mean? So it merges all perfectly well.
Speaking of Rocket's Power Love, as well as your culture and where you've come from, I'm gonna butcher the names of some of these song titles because I am not that brushed up on my Zulu. But in NG, how do I say this one?
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, you got this.
Nhambile.
Ngi.
Say that,
So
please.
NGI is Ngi.
Ngi Hambile.
Yeah.
Huh?
Which means I'm gone.
I have traveled.
Okay.
Okay. So in that song you have a bar where you say in that song you have a bar. It says we were raised on hip hop, but now we are hip hop. You talk a lot about educating and bringing awareness to just everyone, right? Whether it be about yourself or your heritage. So do you feel like you're in a position now where you're returning the favor about like from being raised on hip hop? Now do you feel like you are the ones doing the educating, or you are the one doing the educating through hip hop?
Damn, bro. I mean, of course, shit. I don't even know if I'm really educating as yet, you know. But I feel what you're saying. I just feel like right now, you know, I know that I'm hip hop, and it's been like that for a minute. It's just that right now, as things happen, more and more people are gonna see, and I'm in a cooler place. You know what I mean? But I was thinking most of these things and rapping like this when I was with the cows back home. And I mean, it's just that I didn't have data or Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? So it's the trick. For me, that's the movie of this shit. You know?
I just think that's interesting that you say, because I kind of find your music quite educating, especially when, you know, you go through your website, you read what your music has to offer, and it literally says, this is, you create hip hop for the lost souls. I told you, man, don't
Copy and paste.
Yeah, I
baby.
told you, bro.
Copy,
Watch out.
paste,
You gotta watch what you say, bro. But you create music for the lost souls, and you say that like Black people can find themselves within your music. So, you know, to a certain extent, I have to argue against you, and I do feel that you do somewhat educate the people. You know what I'm saying?
So would
I mean,
you
I fuck with gems, but
Word, like Jay-Z dropped the gems in 444. It's up to us to pick it up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I guess you can say it, but I'm thinking about it more like when Pac said like he's not a role model. You know what I mean? I still ask myself that question: is like, was he right to say that? Am I a role model? You know what I mean? I crush blunt on my Insta live. You know what I mean? That's the vibe I want to give off, though. You know what I mean? Because someone that I look up to who drops a whole lot of knowledge is that comfortable, and it's like that's how I want to play in the Matrix. But I know that my younger nephew's watching me, who's in grade 8. You know what I mean? So how do I balance that whole thing? It's like, you know what I mean? But I also want him to realize that this is a real thing. Don't get caught up being a squid in the Matrix as well. But that's also a lesson maybe you should catch after you finish high school, not in 8th grade.
Facts.
Although I don't want you to be wet behind the ears. So that's what my whole music is like, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna be like the guy saying, yo, this is the, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to make sure like dudes is like equipped. We all equipped to understand what we're born with, and then the advantages of how to move in this world. Because it took me a bit long. In reality, and this was a bit deep, but it's the reality of it, is that not having the breakdown of the Black family. I mean, not having your father in the crib, those lessons, bro. So as a man, it's like you have to figure it out for yourself. You fail until you figure it out. There's a code. I've got younger brothers too, so it's like I gotta figure it out as fast as possible, but make sure it's solid. Then we pass it on so we can all start moving properly. And that's the same thing with the music. Like there's a song coming in the new project called Divine Masculine. You know, some people find that a bit shocking. It's like, how can you make a song about divine masculinity? You know what I mean? I remember when I was at home in 2018, and I wasn't in the farm, I was in Umlazi, broke as fuck, dog. Asking for like fucking 2 rands, bro, which here is like maybe 25 cents or some shit to get a cigarette. killing. I can speak English like this or whatever, but unemployment is a bitch in South Africa. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
And this whole situation happens, and I'm realizing the fact that, hey, bro, we out here and most of us don't really know how to move. And it takes us a long time, as equipped as we may be, as whatever we may have, your little degree in this and that and that and the other. So the whole concept with the music is to try and alleviate people out of that situation, like directly, you know what I mean? And concepts of leaders of the future world is for people who are in the positions that we're in here. I'm here in America, or whatever. It's for them to wake up and to not forget. It's for me to never forget that I come from Umlazi. Is that I come from Mbani. Is that when I'm chilling here I'm in Manhattan, whatever the hell I'm doing here, you know, is that to keep that whole thing balanced. So yeah, my bad.
How hard is it to maintain that balance?
It's not hard.
No?
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard, bro. I was about to say right now, the money hasn't overflowed yet, but it's not hard, and I don't think it's gonna be hard, because for me, what looks cool is what I'm talking about, is building the shit. Nothing else will be cool. It won't be cool for me to be in America looking cool or balling out whilst my people are not straight. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's that Godfather scene, bro. You know, when he goes over to Italy and he's a little kid, dog, Vito, dog, and then they fucking call him Vito Corleone, but the niggas from Corleone. Like, yeah, like, I was trying to get my license the fucking other day, dog. Like, even the experience of being an immigrant is like, it's real, bro, it's humbling. But I tell myself that, yo, you know what I mean? We out here and we building, so, you know, we keep moving forward.
Can you explain to us what leaders of the future world is?
What it is a company that a record label, an entertainment company, basically registered as a record label, but it does more than that. And yeah, it represents artists across music, film, fashion. About to drop some clothes. I've got my younger brothers. And then we got a whole lineup of artists, basically from Guama Shu to Umlazi to Eskawin, all family. We're all blood related. And Leaders of the Future World is a movement, man. And what you guys are seeing and what I'm doing basically now is us trying out the blueprint. And then that was basically what you'll see being happening with all the other artists.
Explain the name of it. Where did that come from? Leaders of the Future World.
Shit. I fucking don't remember. But I think that me and my sister, bro, that's the real OG, dog. You know what I mean? That's the triple O motherfucking G. My younger sister that I'm talking about right now.
Oh, no.
My course. And she was kicked out of school or something. She was in high school. I kicked out of AAA or something. And that's when I started designing a clothing line. LFW basically started as a clothing line, man. I wanted to design sneakers because I couldn't find sneakers that fit me. And I was designing sneakers, but I couldn't draw that well. My sister could draw better than me. We both kicked out of school. She sketched the shit out. And that turned into a clothing line. And then that turned into, through writing a business plan, right? Because these are the days when we were all trying to get funding from the government. I'm young, I'm like 18. But through writing a business plan, then I broke down what Leaders of the Future World is, through breaking down the target audience. That Leaders of the Future World, we choose to start leading our dreams today, right? So that we may be in the position of actual leadership and have experience of leadership when we are of that age. Whenever I give talks to kids and whenever we do camps with my mother, she does the maths and science camps in Northern KZN and Banyan. That's what we speak about, is that have a plan, have a vision for yourself in high school now, in 8th grade, in 9th grade. How do you want to, what's your vision for high school? You know what I mean? That's the whole thing about the leaders of the future. Start leading yourself however you want to, wherever you want to get to right now. Like Karis said, visualize wealth and put yourself in the picture. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like start now so that by the time you get to that age, you already know what you're doing, because I think in our country and in the continent, they build in too many people who are workers. So leaders of the future world is exactly why that building leader.
Breeding thinkers.
Not thinkers.
Doers.
Leaders.
Leaders. Facts.
Yes, and the doers, but yeah, beyond that, man, leaders.
I like that.
Beautiful. All right, before we get into your album, there is we're going to use your album as kind of jump off points for a couple of our next questions, but you're living in Atlanta and recently you had the opportunity, you spent the $50 and saw Kanye at Mercedes-Benz Stadium and went to the listening party for the Donda.
Amazon live stream, shout out. If y'all missed out, I was one of the only dudes tapped into that live stream. It was so lit. Shout out, bro. We appreciate that, dog.
Motherfucker Jones over here filming, just pirating the Donda release party.
Come on, dog. It was expensive. And it wasn't even, I think it was 100. I think the 50 was just like a sales thing. Those things probably went like that. And
yeah.
After that, I think it was just 100 going up.
Bro, I gotta
crazy to think that the first thing I told my partner, wait, this dude's about to charge us to go listen to music with him. That's crazy. And I start speaking in Zulu, yo, we getting robbed out here.
Bro, I have to ask, I saw something trending and it was the food court at the stadium, bro. I heard this guy was charged $50 for some chicken nuggets, bro. Was that true, bro?
I don't know, but the line for the food was crazy.
Right.
I didn't go get any food. I just got some beers and went through.
So in your Instagram post, when you talked about it, you said you got to see a maestro at work, I think was the quote you used. How did it feel to be in that stadium, just witnessing that?
It felt good because I knew it was possible. It felt oh shit, is this why I came out here to America? All right. Because all the shit I've been thinking is not crazy, because there's other people who think like me and people who are doing things as big as I want to do. And what was trippy was that people are watching it or whatever, I don't know, afterwards, that was commenting maybe on the post was yo, that's going to be you soon, yo. Just keep grinding or whatever. And I didn't even take that in any way except, that's the plan, you know what I mean? So for me, seeing that, it felt like I was having my own personal conversation and interaction with Kanye in that whole moment. So yeah. Did
you enjoy the listening party?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was cool. The music was dope. The beats were dope. I didn't really catch most of the rapping, the poetry, beautiful. That was the whole vibe. His mother, yo, that was that, it shouldn't even be for sale, bro.
Yeah.
You must just give that to people or don't give them at all. Maybe you mustn't release nothing at all, bro. That's what I, you know what I mean? That it was special, bro. The way they chopped up the samples and laced it with her poetry or her speaking. That was crazy. For
With
me, that's what I remember more than anything.
Yeah.
was
And then
Donda.
yeah, Donda, right? Like my Donda dog, you could feel her power. And yeah, man, Kanye had people talking. Everyone was like, why is the field white? But what do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna put lights, and I was like telling these dudes, and they're also I'm like, bruh, you know why it is, bruh? So you niggas can talk like this, dog.
Facts, dog.
I was like, that's the genius of Kanye, though. You know what I mean? So it was great to see someone who thinks about every single thing.
Word.
So when people are experiencing something and you can see, or someone like me who thinks about it, I could see like, damn, you know what I mean? Literally, like in the line, people were asking themselves, why? Dog, you came to the show, bro. When have you ever heard people asking why is the fucking floor?
Facts.
Like, that's how intricate Kanye is with this thing, is that people know that there's a reason why it's white. And then he rocked that star orange, bro. And it was like, yeah, it was tripping, man. Yeah.
That's sick, bro. And that's not only like the other known name you've got to experience while during your time in Atlanta. Like I know you've gone and seen the homie Blue Pillar speak. I believe that was in Atlanta, correct? Yeah, man. So how was that? Those are like two different goats at the same time, So like, how was that experience too, man?
Ah, shit. That was a trippy ass experience. Yeah.
Where
It was over. Yeah. Actually, before I stayed on the west side. It was dope, bro. It was dope. There was a lot of people dropping knowledge, learning about the conscious community out here in Atlanta. I did try to speak to, try and engage, but it wasn't easy. So, obviously I felt a little like, but I mean, the brothers, they do their thing and they brought that knowledge.
Word, man. I think that's amazing. You got to you're experiencing artistic at its highest and consciousness at its highest too. You know what I mean? Like it's dope, man.
One thing I learned about that experience after I went to that experience, and then my brother came, I'm not sure, but yeah, man, it's beautiful, and I respect it, and I watch and I learn. But it revived the knowledge that I'm rooted in, and it reminded me. And what I yearned for more than anything that night was to actually share that and try and find ways. I wish there could be more opportunities. One thing I really want to do is speak in schools, bro. You know what I mean? Find my way in my music to speak in colleges and about these conscious matters with reality of the fact that we smoke, we party, with what I mean? Because consciousness is not just about people being conscious. You know what I mean? Consciousness, I think, is about living in reality. You know what I mean?
Word. That's actually interesting that you say, because you have this show on your Instagram live, the come up, I believe yeah, man. And I think that's a perfect example of what you're saying. So if you could just elaborate on that show and what it's about.
Combos in the Come Up is about conversations with people who want to come up in real time. Too many people think that we just woke up like this or whatever. And I know I didn't. And I know I've always been interested in what it takes. I don't just need to watch the final product. And, ever since watching Kanye with all like him always walking around with cameras, Dame Dash, I mean? I always wanted to do a reality type of concept and I obviously couldn't. But then I realized that, I have crazy stories that I've lived through. And I'm sure other people who've been on similar journeys have crazy stories. And so I started speaking to my friends through COVID. And that's how it grew. And I just started interviewing and speaking to people I knew, some that I didn't, that I was just interested in their work and just learning.
I love it. Showing exposure to all the homies.
Alrighty, let's get into your album Rockets Powered Love. And this came out in 2020, and I know that you've got music on the way, where it's coming out soon. I'll leave you guys with that soon. But this album was
Amazing.
that's the word to use first. Amazing, because not only did I feel like I was, you know, when you listen to music and you feel like you actually get to take something away from it, you like learn something, or you felt an emotion that you weren't really familiar with, or you found something out about either yourself or music or just life in general. I felt like that was the overwhelming feeling I get every time that I come out of this album. So, and the fusion between just the sounds that you carry, your bars, to the diversity of you know, from English speaking to Zulu speaking songs, and the pairing of them too. It's a super unique listen. And anyone who is listening to this right now, please go spend the time. I think it's like 52 or 8 minutes or something. Just, you know, you got that time. Go listen to that album.
Bro, from blind to I'm gonna mispronounce it again.
Ingambile.
Bro, like the diversity is crazy, man. The range.
Mm-hmm. So can you just explain what this album meant to you before we really deep dive into it?
You know, I can drop them hard raps because I've been through it and still cook for my family. You know what I mean? Although they'll tell you that Zulu men only push patriarchy, but we out here. We out here. Rockets Power Love, my brother. Firstly, I want to remember this because I think it's really cool. It's from that movie. The title is inspired by the movie Inside Out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about when the girl, or the main character, I don't remember if it was a girl, boy, I think it was a girl. She gets lost in that underworld.
The shattered memories thing there.
Yeah, and she meets that
stuffed elephant or whatever.
Yeah, and they make basically this go-kart rocket thing that is powered by love. That's the only way it reaches the top, so they can get out of this whole thing. And I think I was tripping, probably, or coming down from tripping when I watched that shit. I remember I was crying, bro. It was so cool. I was like, yeah, this shit is amazing, bro. Yeah. Rockets needed power love. And it was like my story, bro, at that time, you know. I'd finished school. I'd just been signed to Rude Road Records with my friend Bulls and Jimmy Navis and all those people. And I wasn't feeling being signed because, you know, I was being in a lineup and being shelved, and I just got out of that. So it was that time to be like, yo, I need something to, because I started creating this project in 2015.
I was gonna say, because you hear references of you talking about your age 25, etc. You know what I mean?
Yeah, coming back, you're 23 in one verse and then 25 on the next one. Like it's crazy. It's like a 2-year-old song.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, I've got music that I'm about to drop now that I wrote when I was 24 years old.
What do you think about that? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what do you think about that? You know, just digging in the archives and dropping that stuff.
Like, fuck the cool, bro.
Like, fuck the cool, dog.
Banger.
Dude, that's a 2014 cut that I lost. And I found it, I think this year, by fixing my Dropbox. Imagine, just because I haven't had my Dropbox synced for the past 6 years. Because it was full, I was like, fuck it. And I moved on. And then I fixed it, and it's like, okay, oh shit, here's this song. So I'm still hoping I'm gonna find the mixtape before, like, when I was like part of NIA. Like that's actually the first music we ever dropped like commercially. That I was part of a group called NIA, Natives in Action. We're first niggas in action, then we became Natives in Action because one of the homies was like, "Niggas is too much." People on that on radio, so became Natives in Action, and we're a conscious hip hop group in Cape Town, like 18, 19. Got a sponsorship from Iron Fist, and we shot a video. It's on YouTube called For the People.
Word.
And that's when I learned that conscious music does not make it, because some other niggas was making some whack ass music, but start getting traction. That was my first time learning that at 18, that yeah, this is the real one.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
You can even hear it in your track Unkulunkulu Babusi. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Kulunkulu Babusi.
And you mentioned, thank you.
He sounds way better than me.
Yes.
We sound
You
like
can hear I've been in the
idiots.
western side of the word for a
I'm trying
minute.
to say it slowly so you can say it as well in that way.
Unkulunkulu
Babusi.
Babusi.
Babusi. Respect. I ain't trying to embarrass myself in this interview.
Yeah.
But you call that out, bro. Like, you said that maybe if I sounded like Drake or something, they would fuck with it. You know what I mean? And how like it's all about relevance now and stuff. That's what you realize. So, where would you say the state of hip hop is now, and like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say, and connecting to that, what would you say the role of hip hop should play or is playing?
There's like 8 questions to unload.
It was two questions.
First of all, let's get your answer on where do you think the current state of hip hop is right now? Is it commercially driven? Is there room for the underdog, or what's your thoughts?
Of course. Shit, bro. I definitely think there's room for the underdog, bro, because I'm the underdog. So there's definitely room for the underdog. And I think that for me, it's shining beacons I hold on to, I look to certain things. J Electronica is one of them. Although that's not really how I'm trying to move in my business, but that's definitely someone I really look up to. And obviously Nipsey, the late, great Ermias, the African Ethiopian king. And when I really look at his play, and obviously I always look at Master P. Someone said that you cannot respect Master P because that dude figured out how to make all white people give him money, the best deal, and call him master at the same time.
That's jokes.
That's crazy. And so I respect people who know how to do their business. And for me, I think there is space for the underdog, bro. I think it's just about cutting the right deals. There's always people trying to make money. So it's not about how to leverage your market. People understand that where we come from in the neighborhood we come from, people are in a consumer state. So it's about how do you leverage that consumer state in a way that, actually helps you. And if you have any sense in your head, you invest that back into your community and build something. But either way, something's being sold. So it's about, which side of the cell you're on. And as long as something's being sold, there is a space for an underdog.
Facts. What do you see the role of hip hop in the current state of the world? Or how do you see it, I should say?
I think that the current state of hip hop is, I don't know, bro. It depends what you're listening to. There's so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
You come like rock, I think. It's just depends what type of hip hop you're into. You could be listening to Griselda, and everyone was trying to sound like that, as Conway says, Griselda-esque. You could be listening to Stove Guard. You could be listening to fucking Vince Staples. Like, there's so much hip hop now, and I'm still just saying people that are famous. So the current state of it is that I think that it's actually no direction.
How do you think that relates to the world as a whole?
It's on purpose.
What do you mean by that?
There's no direction in hip hop, which is mainly consumed by young Black children on purpose in a time like this in the world, on purpose. So make them mainly listen to music that has no direction, that doesn't feed any type of strategic thinking, growth, knowledge, or anything like that. More of a distractive type of vibe as all this crazy shit is happening. You know what I mean? In South Africa, with all the lockdowns or whatever that was happening in these riots, they sold SAA and they sold ESCOM. Keep them in a panic state. So hip hop is like kind of a commercial vehicle to keep that energy and those emotions up. And because there isn't a balance and there's a saturation of the same thing, because there's no problem, Brand, partying. But when you're being fed to party 24/7, and then there's no balance. You know, you're being strung out.
I really like that answer.
But that's why I think what we're here to do is to heal. You know what I mean? More than anything, the gift of whatever I've been given is about healing myself firstly, initially, and then, you know, healing as many people as I can with what I'm given. Ain't nothing else, but I think.
Okay, I have a question about the album, or just I want to know your thinking behind doing this on the album. On Nkunkulu Babusise, Babusise. Yeah. That translates to God bless them in Zulu, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then the following track after that
Burn them, burn them, burn them, burn them, burn them, burn them.
Isn't that poetry?
Sorry?
Isn't that poetry? When you
As genius.
of the song,
Yeah.
God bless them or burn them.
Yeah, I just needed to ask because I thought the back-to-back nature of that was super dope. Like I thought that was super cool. Can you just explain your thinking behind doing that?
Thought process.
It just sounded cool to me.
Wasn't much deeper than that. Here's my ass thinking this guy's so conscious, so ahead of the time, bro. This guy's fucking sitting there with his hands like this, putting those two songs together. Like, wait till they fucking go on Google Translate and figure this one out. Nah, it just sounded cool. Fuck me, right?
No, for real, like the real thinking about it, bruh. At that point, when you're making the playlist or the lineup, is the feeling. So it's smoking as many places for me, chilling with different people, and it was just like listening to it in different places. That's what happened. At that point, I'm not thinking. I'm trying to just feel it, and then get the feeling of what I want someone to feel throughout listening to the journey. And I always want to leave with. I don't know, was it Section 80 where Absol on Kendrick's project does that last like song on that like instrumental, like with the band, you know, what's your life about? You know what I mean? And he just goes like that's the whole thing. Like it's the last thing, you fucking it up and then you leaving. It's like fucking applause, nigga. Like I'm about to fucking break my fucking jaw out here, dog. It's like what's that movie what's that drumming movie?
Whiplash,
you know what I mean? Like that whole thing about like, it's that thing, that, you know what I mean? So,
but he drags himself to the show just like bloodied and just fucked up from that car accident. That's a crazy movie, bro.
Yeah,
That's a crazy flick.
I love the drums in Burn Them too, bro. And then the switch.
That's produced by Nkulunkulu Babusisi is produced by Utito from Umlazi. On that track, he's part of LOFW, and Burn Them is produced by Elu Iboka in Cape Town. And that man, you know, he's been in it for a minute, and you know, we did it at his studio. He mixed, I think, most of that project, and yeah, he's just someone who understood, Brad, like what I can do or what I want to do, and he had time to create beats like let's see what you can do type shit.
Hey, and you did it, bro. I'm sick and you know it. Ah,
Yeah,
that's
the switch up on that, bro. I was
I
listening to it.
almost cried, bro.
Every time I've listened to the album, I like it's just been like through headphones. But today I got the chance to listen to it in my car when I was driving, and just the part where you go a cappella, it hits so different today. I don't even understand what that. It was crazy though. I thought that's probably honestly my favorite track on the album.
Which one?
Which one goes like a
Burn Them. Sorry, Burn Them. So like improving and just growing and the journey of life is a huge theme in your music, as well as tying that to history as well. Like you say that education isn't something that you're necessarily trying to really push through your music, or isn't something you really keep in mind, yet just the way that you do it, the way that you record, the way that you package it, it does kind of come across that way at times. So the one track I think that I really fuck with, and I really got to listen to this one as well today in the car. I really listened to the lyrics, but was Mansa Musa. And Mansa Musa is literally like argued as the like wealthiest ruler of the entire of the history of the world. How do you channel that energy into your everyday life and your music?
Shit, Brad. How do I channel Mansa Musa energy into my everyday life?
Mm-hmm.
I wake up and I pray, bro. I speak to God. And I remember those that walked ahead of me, my ancestors, and I remember my spirits that walk with me, my seven energies. How do I channel in my music? The first part, everything I said. And then, as I said, like that's the Zulu Sci-fi part of it. You know what I mean? It's speaking about things that people don't speak about. You know what I mean? People only speak about like, okay, like, we in the hood. Someone's about to get robbed, or someone's coming up on a lick, or I'm going to a party. And that's all cool. I'm saying I'm in the hood, and my hood is the kingdom. I'm looking at that star, and that star reminds me of Shaka Zulu's mother, Unan. You know what I mean? That's how I'm keeping my heritage. And when I think about Shaka, I think about Nandi. I'm going to think about different kings in history. That's how I'm bringing them as most of the thing. And I think it is, let's make it cool, you know what I mean, to learn about our history and instill a sense of pride in ourselves.
Do you think that that's done enough in hip hop?
It used to be, not right now. Right now, we all, are like into all the European, the European gods, the Versace's, the whatever, Italian, you know what I mean? And that's cool,
like,
you know what I mean?
Them Greek gods and shit, yeah.
No, it's not designer brand.
Oh, my bad.
It's all about designer.
Lefika's right. It's like Versace, all these things, I think it all lead back to Greek mythology.
True. Okay. I see what you're saying.
And the truth is that when you start listening to these Blueprint or whatever, Greek mythology leads back to Egypt, and Kemet.
Kemet, yes, sir.
Now, what they don't tell people, and what I'm trying to kind of share, and some people know, and I think Dr. Phil Valentine spoke about it when he mentioned Umkulunkul, is that, and Umkul Singh, so the great empire of Kemet speaks about this Umkul, the late Vusamazu, the Sanusi speaks about is that Kemet actually starts in South Africa.
Oh, wow.
The story of the world doesn't start in the greatness, doesn't start in Egypt. The first pyramid is in Mpumalanga, in Zaloyelang, what I think they termed Adam's calendar or something. But so that's what we're trying to bring with Mansa Musa, and that's what I try to put in my music and the freestyles. It's like, why this nigga talk about Mansa Musa? Because, bruh, it happened. You know what I mean? Not just what you just see in front of you right now, because that's not the truth only. And I think, yeah.
Because it's crazy because I heard that and I was like, who else has a song like this and or with the same name? And it's Anderson .Paak. It's featuring Dr. Dre. And it's a good track, but like it's what you just described, it's this kind of like bubblegum package version of history, you know what I mean? Something to try to make it catchy. You're not learning anything from it. You're not going to take anything from it. You're just going to listen to the song because it's catchy. And I find that that's a crazy thing.
Sorry to yeah, bro. And look, bro, I respect Anderson .Paak. I respect Dre. But listen to this. I subscribe to everything that's black and trippy. Your forest faded in Fendi. My forest in Ngola. Because when I wrote that track, I was at home. And this is gonna sound almost like some corny shit, but like the king has is like game reserve there. So the giraffes are actually not far, but they're in the fence in the reserve by the farm. I was looking at a giraffe. In Ngola is a giraffe. Your forest is faded in Fendi. My forest is faded in giraffes. You know what I mean? And what I'm trying to bring back to niggas is that like, yo, bro, we're in a reality. You know what I mean? That's why some people do need to go see the motherland, bro. We do need to build these bridges so people can come back to America with a different sense, you know what I mean, of understanding the world, because it's like, yo, bro, you can actually see how much of the world, you've built, not just America, like the whole world.
That's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say after that. Yeah. It's crazy though, man. Like the commercialization of it has made the history side of a lot of it. Like we always talk about how you love like references in bars. You just love to hear like just, historical moments, relayed in those. You love just to hear stuff you have to like Google to really understand the bar. But it's never like that whole song is packaged in a way that is to really shed light on that. It's a quick skim over of something, a name drop in a bar that just has you thinking, what could that possibly mean? But it's never packaged in a way like how your track Mansa Musa is, where you're taking from it like the greatness that has come from that name, right? That mentality, that right? I don't know. I think it's a very beautiful way to do it. And I find that you do it exceptionally well, and not just on Mansa Musa, but just throughout all of your music. You relay power and knowledge and wealth in a very, very healthy way for people who are listening.
You execute it well, so.
Mm-hmm. Some powerful words. I appreciate that.
But unfortunately, we are running out of time. This has been an absolute blast, man. And I feel very, I don't want to say conscious right now, but I feel
this guy's third eye is open, bro.
I'm about to be looking at my hand in a whole new way here after this, bro.
This guy's gonna be staring at it like holy
this is a
shit.
fucking reality, bro, and we got hands and shit in it. This is fucking crazy.
But yo, before we go, man, as we mentioned, a lot of your songs it's not a lot. Some of your songs within Rocket Power Love are in Zulu mostly. And just for example, the song Umlazi, The Kingdom. And I know that's your home.
That's my favorite track.
I know that song probably has a lot behind it, So just for the people that aren't able to translate it, just what does that song mean to you, bro?
It was my first attempt in making a song to represent my reality when I'm at home. Speaking about being a kid that goes to school in Cape Town, coming back, I speak about that whole experience. And then I just speak about representing. For me, it's just about speaking about just being a kid. It's like how people speak about being from like Brooklyn or being from Harlem or whatever. Like, bro, that's what Umlazi is, dog. Like, Umlazi is that spot, bro. Like, right. Everyone Big Nas, fucking like, bruh, the youngest millionaire in South Africa is from Umlazi.
Wow.
At 18, bruh. Dude was supposed to go to college, took his dorm money, and he started playing the Starks. Was losing for 6 months, and right before his money was about to finish, nigga won, bro. That's that energy, dog. It's that underdog energy, and that's what I represent, bro. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yes, sir.
That's a perfect outro, my man. Thank you so much, Ngola, the Zulu in Atlanta, joining us live from the ATL. Just before we go, though, where can people find you at?
And also shout out your favorite artists coming out of South Africa, please. Sorry.
Hello. Shout out to LFW. Shout out to T. Boy. Shout out to Black Bubesi. Shout out to Jose Kava. Shout out to Scarface. Shout out to DJ Cross. Yeah, man, the family. Shout out to Isbuke Simnyama. Shout out to Ngola. You know what I mean? It's us, bro. There ain't nothing else, dog. That's what it is, bro. And people can find us at Ngola, at Ngola's Universe. So NGOLAZ Universe.com. That's the website. You can catch everything from there. There's all the links to everything else. Instagram, it's Ngola 7K. Yeah, everywhere else is Ngola 7K. So, yes, sir.
Dope shit, man. Thank you so much for joining us, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, sir. My favorite thing about you is even on the last track of your album, on the interlude Love, you just speak and represent how you are all about love, sir. And that's what you represent. So I just love that.
You don't make music, you make love.
Yes, sir.
To our ears. Thank you.
Brothers, for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Love, bro.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much for everything. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Go run up Ngola right now. Rockets Power Love. More coming soon. Zulu's in Atlanta. You know the deal.
Down to the beat.